Hello everyone. Today I am going to explain you all about how to file upload and download by using Spring Boot application. In this demo I am going to use JPA, MySQL and then Thymeleaf, and also for web page design I am going to use Bootstrap4 and JQuery. Okay, so the special purpose of this demo is the file has been stored in the separate location and the URL has been stored in the database. Okay, the file URL has been stored in the database table and we can access that URL from the web browser. Okay, so let me show you the step by step how I develop this application. So the MySQL is running in my local machine, so I created one database employee service and then I selected the database by using use command. So I create only the database here. So when you application startup, the table will create, I mean the JPA will take care of that. Okay, so and then now I will show you about the pom.xml, what are the dependencies we required to develop this application. I use Spring Boot version 2.1.0 release, and then I already said I used JPA, so I added the Spring Boot Shorter Data JPA dependency, and then the Spring Boot Shorter Web dependency for writing a REST endpoints, and then the Spring Boot Shorter Thymeleaf dependency for rendering a web page. And also, I already said I'm going to use the MySQL, so I added the runtime dependency for MySQL, and then H2 database I used for the test case. Okay, and then the other dependency is Spring Boot Shorter Test dependency and then the Spring Boot Maven plugin. So only these are the dependencies I used to develop this application. This application is basically about like a employee service. They can add the name and destination along with their profile picture. Okay, that profile picture file, I mean the JPEG file or a PNG file has been stored in the separate location, and then the location path I have stored in the database to access from the web browser. Okay, this is the application.properties file. What are the properties I kept, I mean I used to develop this application? The first three properties about like a data source to connect the MySQL database, database URL and username and password, and then the other two attributes are the Hibernate properties. My Hibernate generates a better SQL for the chosen database, and also the DDL statements will be automatically create. And then these four of properties is about like a multiport properties. We need to enable the multiport to our application, and then we need to set some threshold limit and the maximum file size and then the maximum request size. So those are the property we need to set it to avoid the heap memory exception something. So I just added the multiport properties here, and then the file upload directory path I have added here, file.upload directory. The upload directory path is basically I used as a custom property. While starting the application, application will create a uploads folder. All the files has been stored in the uploads folder, and then the path has been stored in the database. Okay, this is the configuration properties file. I already said that there is a custom property I used to define the upload path. That upload path I have stored, I mean that property I can access by using this class file. So I use that configuration property annotation. Okay, and then the prefix is the file. Okay, so I used all the default constants variable in the separate class file like app constants. Here we can define the employee URI, the employee JSON parameter, file parameter, and then the success code, and then the error responses, and then the throws messages like file not found exception. So those exceptions and what are the file format I am going to support. So all the constants I kept in the app constants.file. Okay, and then this is the file storage property, and then the prefix is file. So when the application start up, the upload directory will create it. So I will show you how the folder has been creating. Okay, see, this is the entity model I created in this application, the employee model. It's just like only the four attributes. One is the ID is a generated auto incremented column, and then the name is about like employee name, and then the destination is about like a software engineer or developer like that. And then the profile pic path, the picture path, I already said the file has been uploaded in the separate folder, and then the file URL has been stored in the database. So the profile pic path I am storing here, profile picture path. Okay, so in this class file I just generated the constructor, and then the setter method and getter method, and then the two string method. Okay, this is about like a employee model. And then I created one more model called app response. So it's basically like API response code and message. So once the upload has been successful, we need to send the success message to the API, like file upload has been successful. So those messages we need to send it to the client, so that's why I use this app response. The next one, I created a service interface called application service. It will provide a service to my application to create a employee and fetch all the employees. The application service implementation I have written it here. So in the application service implementation will contact with the employee repository to store the employee detail and fetch the employee data and everything. So here I automate the employee repository. The employee repository is basically about like a JPA repository. Okay, so by default the save, find all methods will be there to get the data and store the data by using JPA. If you need any extra methods, you can add it here in this interface, and also you can pause the SQL query. So for my demo I don't require to custom SQL queries. I just use the save method and then the fetch all, the find all method to store and retrieve the data. Okay, it's about like a application service and the employee repository. And then I created a two exception class. One is the file storage exception and another one is the my file not found exception. So these two exception I used while uploading the data, and while uploading the file and while downloading the file. File storage exception is basically about like while storing the file into the directory. So if any exception has been occurred, I'm throwing this exception. And then while downloading the file, if any exception has been occurred, I just throwing this exception, my file not found exception. So I created two exception class file, file storage exception and my file not found exception. Okay, so I created another one service interface called file storage service. The file storage service will provide me as a service to store the file and download the file. Okay, so the file storage service implementation I have written in the separate class file. See here. So this is basically like a service class file. So look at here, I already said when the application start up, I am creating a directory called upload in the application. So look at here, I just auto wiring this constructor. So when the application start up, it will create a file, folder. The folder name is upload. That will take it from the application.properties by using file storage property. Okay, so in the file storage implementation constructor, I auto wired, and then I'm creating a directory. Okay, the file storage location has been stored in this path. So basically this path is like I use java.nio to store and retrieve the files. Okay, and then this is the method to store the file. So look at here. Okay, so this is the store file method. So for this method I'm just pausing the multiport file. So first I will check the file should be a png file or jpeg file. If not, I'm throwing an invalid file format exception, and then I'm creating that file in the temp directory to check the width and height of the file. The width and height should not be more than 300. So if it is more than 300 width or height, I'm just throwing a message like invalid file dimension. So I already said you the file storage exception I have created. That file storage exception I used to throw the messages, and then I am deleting the temporary file. Okay, and then I just want to use the valid file name. If any file name has been invalid, I'm throwing a error message, invalid file name. And then if it is an valid file name, I just creating a new file name by using current milliseconds, because we should not get any conflict while uploading the file. So same file should not be there in the upload folder. So I used a new file name, and then I stored the file. Okay, I used java.nio to store the file. And then see here, one more method I have written, load file as a resource, is basically like to get the file from the upload directory. So look at here, once I pass the file name, it will return a path as a URL resource. Okay, so basically it's like a URL object, URL resource. We can download the file while calling the API. Okay, so these two methods I used in the file storage service implementation. See here, this is the main class file, the REST controller class file, employee REST controller. Here I created two methods. One is to create a employee and then fetch all the employee and then the download the file. Okay, so see here, so this request is about like create a employee. So here, once the file has been uploaded in the client side, I'm calling this file storage store file method. I already explained you about the store file by using java nio file. I used to store the file in the upload directory. And then once the file has been uploaded successfully, the method will return the downloaded URI. So I'm using the download URI as a profile pick path. So and then I'm creating a create employee by using the application service. The application service, I already created the employee method to save the employee details. And then this method is about like a get method to fetch the list of employees from the application service. I'm calling get all employees method to fetch the all details, all the employee data from the JPA repository. Okay, and then this is the file to download the profile picture. Okay, so there is a separate URL I am sending in the API response while calling the get API. So using that profile pick path, the user can download the file here. So here by using file storage service, I'm just call the load file as a resource. This method will return a URL resource of the file object. Okay, so basically it is like a java nio process to store and retrieve the data I used. If the file mime type or content type any missing, I just sharing the default content type. And then by using response entity, okay, I am just sending the file object as a resource. Okay, it's just like a URI resource. And then the next one is the controller side, the view controller. So this view controller, I have written one simple request mapping method. It will load the index page. Okay, so by default it will load the index. Whoever calling the slash index, it will load the URI, the index page will load. And then this is the index.html. I used Bootstrap4 and then the JQuery. So the simple form I used, so see here, the name and then the destination and then the file upload, input type is file, and then there is a submit button to upload the file and along with the post data. And then there is a table I have used to list the employee details. Okay, ID, name and destination. You see here, I used jQuery to call the employee details APIs. First, while page on loading, I'm just calling the get employee details. It will return. It will call the get API of the employees. The employee API will return the list of data. List of employee details. I'm rendering into the HTML table. And then while uploading the form, on button submit click action, I just defining the name and destination as a employee JSON data. And then along with that object, I am uploading the form data of the file also. So look at here, the encryption type is multi-part, and then the process data false, content type false, cache false. So these are the Ajax property, and then the API is the post API. Okay, on success, I will show the success message, and on error, I will show the error message. Okay, now let me show you the demo of this application. I will run the application now. So you can start the application by using Java application. Otherwise, use the maven command to run the application, maven clean install. Okay, so here Tomcat has been started on the port 8080. I use the postman to first see get the data. Okay, this is the get API. Oops. Okay, okay, see here, this is the get API to fetch the list of employee details. Right now I don't have any data, so it's returning a empty array. So in the post method I am going to upload the data. So basically the employee JSON I am going to use. See here, I will show you the JSON. I have the JSON file. So the JSON validator, this is the JSON string I am passing as a form data, name and destination. Okay, I just copy this and then paste it into the here. Okay, so see here, the name and destination I am passing as a JSON string, and then I just want to upload a file here. I have collection of some profile picture, so I'm going to upload it and then click send button. So look at here, the employee created successfully. Now I will show you the database. So here the select star from employee. So this table has been created on the application startup. So see here, engineer name is Amreswara, and the profile pic path is a separate path. Okay, so the actual file has been stored in the uploads directory. So I will refresh this. So you can see here the uploads directory, there are lots of files out there. Okay, this is the latest file I have uploaded. Now I'm going to call the get API now. So see the get API, the employee details get API, it will return a list of object. So it will return an ID, name, destination, and also the profile pic path. So if I call this profile pic path, okay, so if I click the send button, so see here the file has been downloaded. Okay, now I'm going to use the application. So see here, localhost colon 8080. So on the application startup, I'm sorry, in the on the application load, the database table, everything has been created, and then page load. See here, the employee list has been, I call the get API and rendered in the table. Now I'm going to add one more user here, like Amar, and then destination is engineer. Like I will add one more destination like software engineer. Okay, engineer, 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 and then I'm going to choose the file from the profile pic. Okay, I will use this file. Okay, submit. So look at it, the file upload has been successfully, and also the table has been rendered here. So Amreswaran engineer, I'm software engineer. So basically I use this URI link to store the, I mean to get the image. I use the image tag to view the image in the browser. So look at it, the file has been downloaded separately. I can able to download the file. So I'm able to upload the file and also as well as the download the file. Okay, so that's all from my side. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe my YouTube channel, like my videos, and share my videos. Thank you.